work on getting all the cabinets prepped and possibly the first coat of paint on them, which would just be a primer. And then I wanted to show you guys, like I mentioned, I think in the last video, I was having someone come to take out the carpet that's in the upper level. I did the whole bottom level myself, but I just didn't think I would be able to handle the top. So I had someone come and do it, and it looks so good. So I think I have figured out like what I'm gonna do with it. So let me show you guys what that all looks like. Here is what it looks like. This is like the one problem I'm seeing. This is the door that you guys were laughing at me because it was freaking me out. It has like all this storage that goes to the bottom of the camper, but it's like crooked. Like something is weird about it. Like it is just, I don't know if you can even see it on camera, but it's completely crooked and slanted, and it doesn't even reach. There's like these big gaps, I think because of the carpet that was there. So maybe we'll have to make a new door. And then it also comes out really far too. Like it ends back here, but it comes out further. So I don't know, we're gonna have to figure it out. And here is everything we have to work with up here. It was a little tricky because you guys can see there's like carpet kind of hanging out here, because underneath this is still carpet, because we didn't want to take this whole thing out. So I'm really not sure how I'm going to get this out. I think I'm going to take, as I call it, a zip and just go and try to cut that all off. And kind of like the same with some of these areas. But overall, it looks great, and I'm really glad that I did not have to do this myself. Like I mentioned, I'm hoping to be able to paint the cabinets today, at least get the base coat on. I haven't picked out a color for everything yet because I'm still not really sure. I'm hoping that once I put the primer on and see everything white, it should give me a better idea of what I want to do. The wallpaper did come in for the camper, so that's really exciting. I'm not sure if I will be able to paint because it has been so humid here lately. It is the week of, today's June 28th. So I don't know if you guys are having really crazy humid weather where you are too. It's literally been like in the 90s for humidity, and everything just feels wet. Like it is so crazy. So it's not really great to paint when it is super humid. So we might have to skip that, but we'll see. My mom got me a coffee again. She comes here every Wednesday to watch Cooper, and then she brings me coffee. She's like the best. But I'm gonna start with taking these top cabinets off, and that way we can get everything ready to paint. This is like one of the tasks that I hate the most because it is just so boring to do. One door down, many more to go, and I have my Ziploc bag we're going to use to stay organized, unlike Honey the camper. I have been getting so many questions about Honey the camper and what I did with her, and a lot of you guys think that I sold the camper, but I did not. I mentioned this in a video, but I must have deleted the clip and not posted it. But we still have Honey. We have been using Honey for Christmas photo shoots, which has been so much fun. I cannot part with her. I have thought about selling it many times because I'm like, I could probably get like a decent amount of money for it. We only paid $1,000. I only put a little under 1,000 into it. So I was like, I can make some money on it, but I just feel like I put so much love into it, so I don't want to get rid of it. I've always had this dream of owning a piece of land and having a bunch of like retro campers on it and then renting them out to people. And I still would love to do that. So I feel like I should just hold on to the camper in case I want to fulfill that dream someday. Then I already have like one camper done. So we still have the camper. It's just not at our house because we don't have room. It's at one of my parents' properties. So that is where Honey is. And the reason why we never took Honey out camping, I'm pretty sure I did mention this in one of the newer Honey videos that I posted, is because part of it on the outside was starting to come apart a little bit, like the sides were starting to separate. So we have to fix that. And the camper, we just feel like is so old and so fragile. So realistically, we just didn't really feel comfortable driving it across the country somewhere. So we always said we would just keep that one to stay stationary somewhere. And then if we got another camper, we would take that one out. So this is that camper. decide if I want to paint the insides of the cabinets as well. I feel like every time I paint cabinets, it's always like, should I paint the front and back of the door? And then should I paint the inside of the cabinets, or do I leave all of that brown? I feel like realistically, I would love to just have everything painted, but it's such a big job and like kind of hard to get into a lot of those spaces. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm finding that with these ones, it's easier to take this piece out first, the arm that's in it, and I keep forgetting to do it. So let's do that. I'm shaking, sweating, it is so hot. Okay, so also I don't really usually get very personal on this channel. I do that more on Instagram, but I thought I would just share this with you guys in case anyone's feeling a little defeated right now. So a year ago today, I went to the doctors because I basically, like, when you're going through infertility, you kind of have to fight for yourself. So I found all of these other testings that like I never got done before. So I was like, I'm going to go to the doctor and try to get these testings done so I could see if any of these are what my issue is. We'd been trying to get pregnant for over 3 years at this point, and both of Connor and I's tests, everything would always come back great. So I went to the doctor's and she was so horrible and so mean to me. I literally was sobbing, and I'm not a crier. So the fact that I was crying in front of this person was like, that meant like I was upset. So basically she told me she would not test me unless I agreed to do IVF, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with IVF or any other like alternative to getting pregnant naturally, but I had always felt God tell me that I would naturally get pregnant. And this is very specific to my story. I know not everyone goes through that, so IVF might be your miracle way to get pregnant, but for me, it was always a very, very strong message, like, you will get pregnant naturally. Do not do anything to, you know, try and do that. So Connor also got that same message, and I would always have random people from like my church come up to me and like tell me like, God told me you would get pregnant naturally, and they had no idea what we were going through. So I said to the doctor, I was like, no, like, I'm going to get pregnant naturally. Like, I know God has told me this. And she laughed at me and like made this whole horrible thing happen. So I left and I was crying so much. Fast forward to the next week, every 4th of July, we go to my family's beach house, and every time we're there, I always take a pregnancy test. So Connor and I, we dated in this beach town. I spent all of my summers there because my grandparents built a house there in the 50s, so I've always stayed there. We got engaged there, we got married there, so I always was like, how cool would it be to find out I'm pregnant here? So it always worked out with my cycle that like that's when I should be testing to see if I'm pregnant. Every single year after year, it'd always be negative. So this time I was like, you know what? I was just sobbing last week. Like, I don't want to get myself all worked up and upset. So I told myself I wasn't going to test, and I randomly just grabbed a test and took it. Like, I don't know what even came over me, and I knew it was going to be negative. Like, if I had any, like, I literally would have bet money on it that it was going to be negative. And so I remember putting the test down on the counter and just like going like this, just like looking over, and instantly it turned positive. And the rest is history. Our life has now completely changed. And it's just really crazy to think that literally a year ago today, I was in the trenches of infertility and crying and thinking, because the doctor just told me I would never get pregnant naturally, that's never going to happen. And here I am a year later now with a 3-month-old baby, and he's just so perfect and healthy and beautiful. And it is just so amazing what can happen if you just fully trust God and just leave everything up to him. So yeah, I never like get like this on this channel, but again, I just felt like I wanted to share this because I know that a lot of people are struggling, whether it be infertility or trying to find a husband or a wife, or, you know, dealing with financial issues. Just keep trusting and everything will work out. Yay! We are done. It is so sticky, like so hot. So I think my mom is right, and today is not a good idea to try painting or anything like that. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sand the border down, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But I'm gonna go check Cooper really quick and make sure everything with him is good. I also wanted to mention that this is part of the story I was telling before, which is really cool. Right after we had Cooper, he had to go in to get some blood work done right away. And so the laboratory ended up taking over where my old doctor's was. And so our doctor like requested that they put us in a room where there were no people, because Cooper was literally like 2 days old at this point. So they put us into a room where it was just us, and it was the exact room that the doctor told me that I would never get pregnant in. And it was just like such a crazy full circle moment, because I was like, the last time I was in this room was the doctor telling me I will never get pregnant naturally, and now I'm sitting in this room with my husband and my baby that I just had naturally. So I just thought that was really cool and special. But let me go check on that baby quick and see how my mom is doing with him. That was really good timing. As soon as I walked in, I guess my mom had texted me. I left my phone in the camper, and she was like, he's starting to cry. So as soon as I walked in, he was like getting upset, and then he started screaming. So I think he's not very happy. So I'm going to just try to do one more thing quickly. I got him calm, and he's just like hanging out on the bed looking at the fan with my mom. But what I'm going to do quickly is just sand the border. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So over here and a couple other spots on the camper, we have the border. And I was going to take the border down to put the wallpaper up, but the wallpaper I have is so thick, I don't even think I need to go through all the hassle of taking it off. Just to play it safe, I'm going to sand the top and bottom of the wallpaper, in case there's, you know, the difference of the depth of it, just to make it smoother in case the wallpaper wants to show that through. But it's like a textured wallpaper, and it's really thick, so I think we're gonna be okay. But let's just sand it quickly. Okay, so this side of the camper, right here, it's kind of like bubbling a little. There must have been like some water damage there at one point, so I might, maybe the next video, remove this wallpaper, like just cut this out. Then I probably have to prime it and see what it looks like. So Just gonna leave that for now and try to figure out what to do. Or maybe I'll try sanding it down. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That is going to be it for today's video. I was hoping to get the cabinet sanded or at least do this liquid sandpaper on them, but I don't want to make Cooper cranky. So I'm gonna go in and shower and then spend time with him and give him some mommy love. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you guys are new to keep up with this camper renovation, and share this video with any of your friends who are into campers. But I will I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.